day, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. News, events, and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage is a driving principle for this program in order to bring government activities to your doorstep and to the doorstep of the people. Let's go through the highlights of today's report, shall we? In River State, Fubara launches health insurance scheme in Benue State. Hoodlums intercept 2 truckloads of palliatives. Federal government cracks down on import duty. President Bola Tinubu has declared April 7 as National Police Day. NDLEA arrests 50,901 in 3 years. We take a very short break, and when we return, we go straight to the details of the day. Stay tuned.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
you human
on the point of order.
Honourable
On the point
with the EU, but
And now we dive into the details for today. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has launched the state's health insurance scheme known as the River State Contributory Health Protection Program. The governor said the CHPP was designed to offer households a measure of financial protection against healthcare costs and help resolve inequality in the provision of available services. Fubara charged the managers of the scheme to be unbiased in their administration, insisting that the most vulnerable in the society should not be deprived of accessing critically needed healthcare services. The governor unveiled CHIS shortly after inaugurating the comprehensive primary healthcare center in Undoni town in Ogba Egbema Undoni local government area. He said the scheme must foster inclusive and equitable healthcare access for the people of the state. Analysts have called on the federal government to set up modular refineries across oil-producing states in the region as a tool to crude oil protection and job creation. Speaking on Atlantic Television Blowout, a public affairs analyst, John Idumange, emphasized on the need for the federal government to set up workable modular refineries in oil-producing states to help reduce crude oil theft for a better economy. On his part,
some years back, I think even before Jonathan became president, the federal establishment of modular refineries to accommodate these artisans, the youths. You know, what we're talking about is lively of the youths. No, the youths are, we have
on his tasked the government on the review and implementation of the policy for accessible state-of-the-art modular refineries.
And build or construct something similar to a modular refinery. And believe me, what we have flooded in the society today is made from this modular refinery, because what the government brings in, it's not enough. You can hardly find pure AGO in the system today. So this product comes from what these artisans produce in the creeks. So I would rather, advise the government to revisit that policy of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Recall that the air component of Operation Delta Safe has destroyed 7 illegal refining sites at different locations in Rivers State. There's more news, but don't forget you can connect with us and watch us on ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV-Network 1, X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV-Net. You can watch us live on our website, Atlantic-Network.tv. Moving on now, Bayelsa State Independent Electoral Commission on Monday issued certificates of return to winners of the April 6 local government area elections. The handing of the certificates of return to the 8 local government council chairmen and their vices, all of the ruling People's Democratic Party, took place at the NUJ Press Center in Yenagua. Chairman of BICEG, Dr. Peter Singabale, said the event was in fulfillment of the Commission's mandate to issue certificates of return, which is the last step on the part of BICEG in the 2024 election. Speaking on behalf of the elected chairman, the chairman-elect, Yenagua local government area, Bolodisiye Undiwara, thanked BICEG for successful and smooth conclusion of the exercise. He commended the party for finding them worthy for using the platform to win the election, congratulating party supporters and Bayelsans for voting them in. Operatives of the Imo State Police Command Anti-Kidnapping Unit have apprehended a notorious kidnap kingpin, Aralu Chukudi Karis, 40 years of Otolo, in Unewi North Local Government Area of Anambra State. The operation that was led by CSP Oladimeji Odeyeyiwa followed credible intelligence and a well-coordinated operation that led the operatives to the hideout of the suspect at Umbidi in Oru East local government area of Imo State on Monday, where he was ambushed and eventually arrested. The suspect was paraded at the command's headquarters, Owerri. The suspect who was paraded at the command's headquarters, Owerri, was said to have masterminded several kidnappings and armed robbery operations in Imo State. Speaking to newsmen on Monday, the command spokesman, Henry Okoye, said on searching his hideout, one ash-colored Toyota Camry 2005 model reportedly snatched from the victim was recovered. He further said that the suspect would be arraigned in court upon completion of a comprehensive investigation. Moving on now, Chief Press Secretary to Governor Umo Ino of Akwa Ibom State, Ekerete Udo, has disclosed that his boss has authorized the immediate release of additional 1.4 billion naira for the payment of gratuities. Udo, who disclosed this in a statement made available to newsmen on Monday, noted that by the gesture, the governor was trying to cushion the impacts of the current economic situation in the country on the retirees. According to him, the sum of 900 million naira is for payment of retired state civil servants and 500 million naira is for retired primary school teachers. He disclosed that the 1.4 billion naira has brought the total amount of gratuities paid so far by Governor Ino since assumption of office to 16.1 billion naira. To other news now, Nigerian Police Force Zone 13 Headquarters Ukpo Dinikofia has notified candidates from Anambra and Enugu states that the police recruitment medical screening exercise for both general duty and specialist constables will take place at the Police Hospital Central Police Station, Awka, Anambra State. This was contained in a statement issued by the Command's Public Relations Officer, Josephine Ihunwa, on Monday, adding that the exercise has been fixed for April the 16th to April 30, 2024. The Zone 13 headquarters comprises police formations in Anambra, Enugu, and some parts of Ebonyi State. The command said the successful applicants shortlisted in the conducted physical and credential screening was slated for Tuesday, March 5 and Wednesday, March 6, 2024 for the CBT. Undukwe said the centers for the CBT exercise included Coal City University CBT Center, Abakaliki Road, Enugu, Enugu State, College of Education Technical, Abakaliki Road, Enugu, and Fortress Digital Learning Management Center, Premier Layout near Dunamis Church, New Artisan, Enugu State. And to some more crime now, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Monday charged 5 defendants before a federal high court in Lagos over an illegal deal in petroleum products. The defendants are Vina Laris, Aziz, Abubakar, Wisdom, Bobole, among others. After the charge was read to them, they pleaded guilty. Following their plea, the prosecutor, Mr. R.A. Abdurrashid, informed the court that the prosecution had filed a plea bargain agreement with the defendants before the court. Consequently, the court adjourned the case until April 25 for adoption of plea bargain agreement. The court, however, ordered that the defendants remain in custody of the prosecution until then. Police in Lagos State have confirmed the arrest of a Nigerian Army Lance Corporal attached to 159 Battalion in Yobe for allegedly stabbing a commercial motorcyclist in the abdomen. The command spokesperson, Benjamin Irvin, member of the Nigerian Army, allegedly used a gun-like jackknife to stab one Sahid Issa, a commercial motorcyclist. The suspect has been arrested with the exhibit knife. Investigation is now ongoing. Coroner Magistrate Mikhail Kadiri, inquiring into the cause of death of the late student of Darwin College, Lagos, Sylvester Oromoni, has cleared the school and the students of any wrongdoing. They returned a verdict that the deceased died a natural death. In a judgment that lasted over 6 hours, the coroner also held that the death was, however, avoidable, as the negligence of the parents and the medical team also contributed to it. Magistrate Kadiri absolved some students of Darwin College named in the incident, as he concluded that they played no part in the death of Sylvester and should not have been involved in the matter. He also called for a synergy between the police and the medical team going forward, as well as for the police force to ensure due caution before arrests are made. He further recommended that the management of Darwin College should ensure proper documentation of entry and exit of students out of the hostel, as well as proper psychological evaluation for the 5 students suspected to have bullied the deceased. Security agents in Ondo State have been placed on red alert to ward off any incursion into the state by the Odua Nation agitators and any other miscreants. There has been no incidents or activities of Yoruba Nation agitators in Ondo State. The Ondo Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Commandant Ibiloye Oluyemi, who ordered divisional officers and tactical teams to be on standby and red alert, said the command was committed to safeguarding life and property and ensuring the protection of critical national assets and infrastructure. He said Intelligence Department Ahmed squad Counter-Terrorism Unit, Rapid Response Squad, and operations were to be on red alert to ensure that the security breach that took place in Oyo State does not happen in Ondo State, especially now that the various political parties are having their rallies with mixed crowds in attendance. Also, Ondo police spokesman Fumilayo Odunlami Omisonya said policemen have been deployed to strategic places to ward off any attack. Now to Ekiti State. Now High Court sitting in the state's capital, Ado Ekiti, has sentenced one Dipo Femi to 27 years imprisonment for conspiracy, burglary and stealing. The 22-year-old convict was arraigned before Justice Blessing Ajileye on 19th of July 2022 on a 5-count charge bordering on conspiracy, burglary and stealing contrary to sections 421, 324 and 302 of the Criminal Laws of Ekiti State 2021. According to the charge, Dipo Femi and others now at large on 14th of March 2022 at Oke Ureje Polytechnic Road, Ado Ekiti, conspired and broke into the shops of Victor Mark, Clement Moses and Samuel Lucky. To prove his case, the prosecutor, Kunle Shino Adeyemo, called 4 witnesses and tendered the defendant's statements. In his judgment, Justice Blessing Ajileye said she will not hesitate to hold that the prosecution had proved beyond reasonable doubt the basic elements of stealing against the defendant, and so held. Still in Ekiti State, government has appointed 23 justices of peace to enhance justice delivery at the grassroots level and deepen peaceful coexistence in the state. Speaking on Monday in Ado Ekiti at a one-day workshop organized for the 23 justices of the peace, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Ekiti State, Dayo Akpata, said that the nominees were selected having been adjudged worthy of being honored with the title. Attorney General noted that the 23 nominees were carefully chosen by the government to ensure that the state is better as it relates to the administration of justice. Apata admonished the nominees to use their appointment to promote peace and delivery of uncompromising justice in their respective communities and areas of jurisdiction. He equally implored them to see their appointment as a responsibility toward the promotion of peace, the rule of law, and the deepening of good governance in their communities. And now to Benue State. Internal Revenue Service has said that hoodlums intercepted 2 trucks of palliative and Gwe East local government area in Benue State when the unsuspecting drivers conveying palliative from Adama to the eastern part of the country ran into their ambush. Agema said that the hoodlums stopped the vehicles, broke their windscreen and stole the sum of 200,000 naira from one of the drivers at the illegal tax collection point. According to him, 2 persons have been arrested and transferred to the Department of State Services on the governor's directives that a thorough investigation be carried out to fish out those behind illegal tax collection in the state. Independent National Electoral Commission on Monday tendered electoral documents against the petition by the Social Democratic Party and its candidate Murtala Ajaka challenging the election victory of Governor Usman Ododo. INEC's counsel Uchenna Unjoku, who held the brief of Chief Kanu Agabi, tendered the documents before the Kogi State Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja. It will be recalled that INEC conducted the Kogi governorship election on November 11, 2023. However, the SDP and its governorship candidate in the poll are challenging the declaration of Ododo of the All Progressives Congress as the winner of the poll. In the petition, INEC, Ododo, and APC are listed as first to third respondents, respectively. The judge adjourned the matter until April 16 for continuation of hearing. One of the suspects who was among Yoruba Nation's agitators that invaded the Oyo State House of Assembly and Governor's office on Saturday, Ayanwale Rofia Yat, yesterday disclosed that those who sponsored the invasion promised to put an end to starvation in her life. The scheme, as the Oyo State government yesterday described the invasion as treasonable. Recall that some self-acclaimed Yoruba Nation agitators hoisted their flag on the building housing the State House of Assembly last Saturday. The woman suspected was among other 20 suspects paraded by the Oyo State Police Command Eleyele in Ibadan. Other items were displayed by the police. They include 2 security jackets, 30 pieces of torchlights, 49 bells, 5 hostels, 7 pieces of walkie-talkies, 2 photographs of Modupe Onitiri Abiola, 261 belts, 12 Yoruba Nation flags, 1 Odua Nation coat of arms, 405 live cartridges, 72 pairs of camouflage uniforms, and others. Speaking while being paraded, Rafiat said, and I quote, "I'm from Igbo-Ora in the Ibarapa zone of the state. The sponsors promised me and my entire family that they would empower us and that our future would be assured. Starvation would no longer be in our lives and the cost of living would automatically come down." End of quote. She explained where they got the foreign military camouflage from, saying, and I quote, "The army camouflage attire on me was given to me and other members when we converged on Ibadan before moving to the secretariat." End of quote. Moving to Kebbi State now, where the House of Assembly has suspended the member representing Bena Kebbi North constituency, Hassan Umar, for alleged unguarded utterances. This was contained in a press statement signed by the clerk of the House, Suleiman Shamaki, and made available to journalists on Monday. The statement noted that the suspension was a result of unguarded utterances and instigation of some members against the leadership of the House. The statement further listed the lawmakers' other offenses to include instigation of some members against the leadership of the House and causing disharmony between the executive and the legislature in the House, unquote. In October 2021, the All Progressives Congress in Benin ended its annual traditional Salah Durbar for the past 7 organized Durbar by Aliyu. However, after a long calm, violent activities resurfaced on Friday in Mina, known to be home to violent gangs such as Yandaba, leading to the death of 2 persons and several others injured. 3 corpses of those who were allegedly killed by soldiers in Gashua Town, Yobe State, were buried on Monday amidst tears and anguish. Emir of Bade, Al-Abubakar Umar Suleiman, and the chairman of Bade Local Government Council, Ibrahim Babagana, were among the dignitaries who attended the funeral prayers of the victims. Recall that the tragic killing of 3 civilians occurred yesterday after soldiers allegedly opened fire on peaceful protesters who were expressing their anger over the alleged reckless conduct of soldiers in the town that led to a fatal accident involving their patrol vehicle and a tricycle. Governor Mai Malabuni, who called for calm after the incident, directed free treatment to those who sustained injuries in the accident and were admitted to the specialist hospital Gashua. According to him, those behind these senseless acts of violence must be held accountable for their actions. Nigerian Army says its troops, in collaboration with vigilantes, have apprehended a suspected gun runner in Taraba. The suspect, Mansur Mohammed, was arrested at Jalingo Motor Park for allegedly supplying weapons to terrorists. This is contained in a statement by the Director of Army Public Relations, Major General Onyema Wanchukwu, on Monday in Abuja. Wanchukwu said the troops also foiled a kidnap attempt and eliminated a terrorist during the operation. He said the arrest of Mohammed led to the nabbing of other members of his syndicate and the recovery of 1 semi-automatic pump-action gun. National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu received on Monday 22 abducted students and staff of Federal University Gusau in Zamfara who were rescued on Sunday. Recall that 22 people comprising 15 students and 7 workers of the university were abducted from the institution in September 2023. Ribadu said the rescue operation was coordinated by the National Counter-Terrorism Center on Sunday. Ribadu, who received rescued victims on Monday in Abuja, urged them not to allow the experience to break them, but rather to make them stronger. He also thanked the parents of the rescued victims for their patience and understanding during the period and commended the security agencies for their tireless work and sacrifices. You're still watching Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be right back right after this break. Stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. You human trafficker. You're a human.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Television Network. And now to other stories. FCT area councils has received number of motorcycles to be shared to the security agencies in order to end insecurity issue in Abuja. Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, did the handing over of motorcycles today in Abuja while promising the residents of Abuja that security is the priority of Mr. President and therefore his administration will always protect the lives and properties in FCT. Our correspondent Joseph Moses reports.
The FCT area councils have received a number of motorcycles to be shared to the security agencies like the police and vigilantes and other groups in order to end FCT security issues. According to the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, the security made a request of specialized motorcycle to help fight insecurity in the rural areas of FCT, which he said 10 motorcycles should be given to each area councils, 30 to the police, 5 for DSS, 5 for Civil Defense Corps, and others for vigilante group, warning that the motorcycles must not be used in the city of Abuja except the rural areas.
Remember that the security agencies requested for a specialized motorcycle that we use particularly in the rural areas. The vigilantes will use them in the 6 area councils, and then the police, the SSS, it is here. If I find out that you are using these motorcycles in the city, I'll find a way and take them back. Go and use it in the rural areas. They need protection, and that's what we are doing.
The minister further promised the residents of Abuja that the security is the priority of Mr. President, and therefore his administration will always protect the lives and properties in FCT, assuring the security agencies a provision of vehicles in 2 weeks' time to make their work easier.
We have promised the residents of Abuja and the area councils that security is a priority for the New Hope agenda. Anything we can do to protect life and property, we are going to do it. So I urge you to use it well and take it not for commercial purposes, not for commercial purposes. For vehicles, we believe by the next 2 weeks, the vehicles would have been ready to give out to the security agencies too. So make sure for us, we will not relent until those who said we will not sleep, they will also not sleep. So 10 each for. I'm not commissioning anything.
ATN News.
In the meantime, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has assured that the official residence of the Vice President under construction in Abuja will not obstruct the flow of traffic when the project is completed. The minister made the statement when he revisited the ongoing construction works at the Vice President's official residence. According to the minister, the design and conceptualization of the VP's residence by the federal government took into consideration the flow of traffic around the area, adding that the construction work is being carried out according to specification.
Well, the quality of job, of course, you can see the work according to the design and the specification. So we believe, by the grace of God, that something that will actualize. So where he lives now, is there no access road? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, that will be worked out. Those who designed that here should be the bad president don't know why. We are not the ones who decided. It was the federal government that decided that the Vice President residence should be located here. So I'm sure they took everything to consideration before deciding. The office of an NSA, and they have taken a look at one note. They have made their own input, which FCD, with the contractor, Jonas Berger, have taken to cognizance and also making amendments. So that of traffic, I don't think is a problem.
We are assured that other ongoing infrastructure projects in the FCT scheduled to be completed by May next month would be actualized and opened for public use, thereby making the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a reality in the FCT, and that the projects will showcase the president's achievements within his first year of office.
For example, if there are farmers there, how would they carry their produce to the city without, in terms of security? You can imagine where we are coming from. Now, just imagine that people were kidnapped. How would the security agencies have access to this kind of, look at the topography. So creating infrastructure, particularly road here, is key to the development of these communities, and they will feel the impact of governance. And that's the sense of the renewed hope agenda. That is not just for those in the city, it's also for those in the rural areas. I mean, for me, I feel delighted, particularly, not just city, particularly that we are taking development to the rural areas. See, look at where people reside there. Look at where people reside. I should be these bandits, for whatever you may call them, come in and pick people from there. What do? No access. And then you begin to complain against the security agencies that they are not doing their work as they are supposed to. There's an inhibition, no road. So for me, it is very important and to actualize the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, that rural communities also benefit from the...
Included the 3.2-kilometer access road to Kwali Town through the court-open satellite quarters, Court Close and Angwan, Hausawa areas of the town from the Abuja Lokoja Expressway.
Look at the topography of this place and what the civil servants, like the permanent secretary, just told us at work, and the culverts. You have said they have over 17 of such big culverts and some small ones, that they want to tackle this major area, which is about 4 kilometers out of the 11 kilometers. But by the time they are done with this, they are free to go.
Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, made this known on Monday night during the maiden edition of the Nigeria Police Awards and Commendation ceremony held in the Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. He identified a complete overhaul of the institutional mentality and memory of police officers as fundamental to his administration's ongoing bid to transform the force into a modern, professional and accountable institution. He said that his administration had initiated wide-ranging reforms to revitalize the nation's force since assuming office in 2023. He therefore stressed the need to engage men and women of the force in training and capacity building to equip them with the expertise required to carry out the arduous task of modern policing. He also disclosed that the federal government had approved the first week of April as Police Week and the last day of the week as National Police Day. National Youth Service Corps has informed the general public, especially prospective Corps members, of the sequence of its mobilization for the 2024 Batch A Stream 2 orientation course. The scheme announced that the orientation course will commence nationwide on Wednesday, 17th April 2024. It said a total of 103,000 PCMs successfully registered and are ready for mobilization. Director of Public Relations Eddie Megwa said in a statement that in keeping with best practices and ensuring a modest and conducive environment for the smooth running of the orientation exercise, and also looking at the number of registered PCMs, the various orientation camp capacities cannot accommodate the large number of registered PCMs at the same venue. Hence, utmost needs to mobilize them in batches and streams. The scheme said it strongly believes that mobilizing PCMs in batches will not only decongest the camps, but also maintain optimal health conditions in the orientation camps. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, on Monday said the President Bola on September 22, 2023, invaded the institution and abducted over 30 students and members of staff. The Deputy Governor of Zamfara State, Mani Mumuni, who was at the university to sympathize with the families and the school authorities over the incident, called on security agencies to hasten the rescue of the kidnapped students. In a press statement, the spokesperson for the Zamfara State Police Command, Yazid Abubakar, assured that the command would ensure the rescue of the kidnapped students as it had deployed an additional tactical team for search and rescue operations. The police noted that, and I quote, on September 22, 2023, at about 2:50 hours, suspected bandits riding on about 50 motorcycles armed with sophisticated weapons invaded 3 students' rented apartments in Sabongida village near the Federal University Gusau and kidnapped an unspecified number of students, taking them from an unknown destination. 7 of the students were rescued while 2 escaped, leaving 22 others in captivity. In a move aimed at tightening controls and maximizing the effectiveness of tax incentives, the Ministry of Finance has announced the implementation of a new electronic monitoring and evaluation framework for import duty exemption certificates. According to the Minister of Finance and Coordinator Minister for the Economy, Wale Adun, this represents a significant step forward for fiscal transparency and accountability. Adun also declared that, and I quote, the new system will provide us with a robust automated tool to effectively measure the impact of all customs duty exemptions issued by the ministry to government entities, companies, NGOs, and international organizations. The purpose of this system is to establish a structure that can effectively identify and block unqualified applicants, ensure full adherence to fiscal policies, and offer a comprehensive analysis of how tax incentives impact the economy. The Finance Minister revealed that the IMEP offers several key features like the duty clawback mechanism. To other news now, transmission company of Nigeria says a fire incident caused the collapse of the national grid on Monday. General Manager of Public Affairs Ndidi Umba disclosed this in a statement. Recall that Nigerians were thrown into darkness after the national grid collapsed around 2:40 a.m. for the second time in 2 months. However, TCN said the grid has been restored. Nigeria witnessed the 6th power grid collapse of 2024 on Monday as electricity generation on the system collapsed from 2,583.77 megawatts at 2 a.m. to 64.7 megawatts around 3 a.m. before the grid was restored later in the day. Although the Transmission Company of Nigeria attributed the cause of Monday's grid collapse to a fire incident, it had consequently blamed gas shortage for the power generation and the vandalism of power infrastructure for the recurrent cases of grid collapse in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Nigeria generates an average of 4,000 megawatts of electricity for an estimated 200 million citizens across the country. And now to the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, which has said it has arrested a total of 50,901 offenders, including the apprehension of 46 barons in previous years. In 3 years, I beg your pardon. The chairman of the agency, Mohammed Marwa, made this known on Monday at the inauguration and handing over ceremony of an operational facility built and donated by the British government to the NDLEA in Lagos. Marwa said we would not only disrupt the flow of illegal drugs but also serve as a significant blow to the criminal networks responsible for their distribution. He said, and I quote, our operations have undergone substantial reforms resulting in remarkable achievement within the last 3 years. During this period, the NDLEA achieved significant milestones in its mission to combat drug trafficking and abuse, with a total of 5,901 arrests, including the apprehension of 46 drug barons. Our agency has demonstrated its unwavering commitment to bringing those involved in illicit drug activities to justice. Furthermore, the conviction of 9,034 offenders underscores our relentless pursuit of accountability and deterrence in the fight against drug-related crimes. I quote, our seizure of 7,560 kilograms of 7,561 tons. Okay, a seizure of 7,560 kilograms of that of 7,000, end of quote. Marwa added that the agency had taken decisive action against illicit drug crop cultivation with a search and destroy campaign against cannabis plantation, which had led to the destruction of over 1,000 hectares of cannabis farms in the past 3 years.